Listen, there's no magic formula. There's no shortcut, no overnight miracle, no secret that's hidden away from you. Success is not luck. Success is not reserved for the chosen few. Success is built, it's carved. It's earned by the sweat you put in when nobody's watching, by the choices you make every single day, by the relentless commitment to push yourself when it would be easier to quit. Hard work isn't just about effort, it's about consistency. It's about showing up again and again, even on the days when you don't feel like it, even when the results aren't immediate, even when the world doubts you. You see, we live in a time where everyone wants instant gratification. People want the reward without the process, the glory without the grind. But let me tell you something. The grind is where you discover who you really are. The grind is where your strength, your discipline, your resilience are forged. When you choose hard work, you are building the foundation for the life you dream of. Every rep in the gym, every late night hour spent studying, every extra call you make, every sacrifice you choose, it all compounds. Hard work stacks, and when it stacks high enough, it breaks through. But here's the truth. Hard work doesn't just create external success, it transforms your internal self. Because the real reward is not just the money, not just the recognition, not just the applause. The real reward is who you become in the process. The confidence that comes from knowing you earned it, the pride that comes from realizing you refuse to quit, the identity that is reshaped every time you push beyond your limits. Hard work rewires your mind to believe in yourself. It proves to you, beyond a doubt, that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. There will be moments when it hurts. There will be times when you question if it's worth it. There will be days when nothing seems to be working, and those are the days that matter most. Because when you choose to keep going, when you choose to put in the effort regardless of the outcome, you separate yourself from the masses. Most people give up at the first sign of resistance. Most people look for an easier way, but the ones who win in life are the ones who commit to the long game. They outwork, they outlast, they hustle. Success isn't found in comfort, it's born in discomfort. It's born in the extra mile, in the lonely hours, in the sacrifices nobody else sees. You have to be willing to pay the price now so you can enjoy the reward later. And if you can fall in love with the process of hard work, if you can find meaning in the struggle, if you can connect every drop of sweat to the vision of your future self, there is nothing that can stop you. So don't wait for someone to hand you success. Don't wait for the perfect opportunity, the perfect timing, the perfect circumstances. Start where you are with what you have and give everything you've got. Because the life you want, the person you want to become, the future you dream about, it's waiting on the other side of your effort. Hard work is the key. Hard work is the bridge. Hard work is the answer. Hard work is the foundation of all lasting success because it builds the structure upon which dreams are transformed into reality. People often see the highlight reel of someone's achievements, the big stage moments, the awards, the recognition. But what they don't see is the years of effort that came before it. Behind every break through there is a long history of grinding, failing, adjusting, and pushing forward. Hard work is not glamorous, and it's rarely celebrated in the moment, but it is the one constant force that guarantees growth. Talent may open the door, connections may create opportunities, but without hard work, none of it sustains. The foundation is what keeps everything from crumbling, and that foundation must be built brick by brick. Through effort, discipline, and sacrifice, the reason hard work becomes the foundation is because it's the only thing we can fully control. You cannot control luck. You cannot control timing. You cannot control how others perceive you, but you can control the effort you put in day after day. That control is power. Every time you choose to put in the work, you are reinforcing that foundation. When setbacks come, and they will, the structure doesn't collapse because it's anchored in your commitment. People who rely only on talent or quick wins often crumble under pressure because their foundation is weak. Hard work builds resilience. It builds a toughness that allows you to withstand storms and keep moving forward. Think about anyone who has reached the top of their field. The athlete, the entrepreneur, the artist, the leader, they all share one thing in common: relentless work. The hours in the gym before dawn, the late nights at the desk when everyone else is asleep, the countless repetitions of practicing a skill until it feels effortless. All of these unseen moments are what create the public success. The foundation is invisible to most people, but it's the very reason the visible results exist. Without the foundation, the structure falls apart. Hard work makes sure it stands strong no matter what challenges arise. Another truth about hard work is that it creates momentum. At first, the effort feels heavy, progress feels slow, and results might not show up for a long time. But every bit of work you put in stacks on top of what you've already built. Over time, the foundation gets stronger, and the momentum begins to carry you forward. What once felt like a mountain becomes part of your routine. What once drained your energy begins to energize you because you start seeing growth. This is the compounding power of effort. When you commit long enough, hard work multiplies itself. It doesn't just add to your life. It transforms it. The beauty of hard work as a foundation is also in how it changes you internally. It teaches patience in a world addicted to speed. It teaches humility because you realize nothing worthwhile comes without a price. It teaches gratitude because you learn to value what you've earned instead of taking it for granted. Each time you push through, you're not only building external results, but also shaping the person you are becoming. You are laying down a foundation of character, of self-respect, of identity. This inner foundation becomes even more important than the outer achievements because it stays with you regardless of circumstances. No one can take away the person you become through hard work. There will always be people who try to find shortcuts. There will always be promises of quick success, easy money, instant results. And yes, sometimes shortcuts can bring temporary wins, but they rarely last. Without a foundation of effort, success is fragile. The first obstacle, the first challenge, the first failure can wipe it away. Hard work ensures that your success is not just built quickly, but built to last. It's like constructing a building. If you rush the foundation, the entire structure will eventually collapse. But when you dig deep, pour the time, pour the energy, pour the commitment, the building stands strong for decades. Hard work also separates you from the crowd because most people are unwilling to commit to it. They want the reward without the sacrifice, the outcome without the process. When you are willing to do what others refuse to do, you automatically rise above average. That doesn't mean it will be easy. It means you'll be tested, you'll face doubt, you'll question yourself. But those who lean into the grind instead of running from it are the ones who rise to levels others only dream about. The foundation you build with hard work becomes your competitive advantage. The thing that makes you unstoppable when others give up. Hard work is not about one big effort. It's about a lifetime of small, consistent actions. Every day you show up matters. Every time you give your best effort, even when no one is watching, you're adding another brick to the foundation. And while it might feel invisible at first, one day you'll look back and realize you've built something unshakable. Something that can support the weight of your dreams, your goals, your vision. Something that stands tall not because of chance, not because of luck, but because of the unbreakable foundation you created through hard work. Consistency and discipline matter more than talent or luck, because talent without effort is wasted potential, and luck without preparation is a missed opportunity. The world is full of people with extraordinary gifts who never reach their potential simply because they lack the discipline to develop those gifts and the consistency to stay the course when things got hard. On the other hand, people who may not have started with the greatest natural ability often rise to incredible heights because they committed to showing up every single day, practicing, improving, and refusing to quit. Consistency creates results because it compounds small actions into massive outcomes. Discipline ensures you keep going even when motivation fades, because motivation will always come and go. But discipline anchors you to the path you've chosen when you rely solely on talent. You are depending on something that can only take you so far. Talent gives you a head start, but it doesn't guarantee you'll finish the race. What matters is what you do with that head start. Consistency is what sharpens talent into mastery, what transforms raw potential into skill that can withstand any challenge. Discipline is what keeps you from being distracted, from giving in to temptations that pull you away from your vision. It's easy to work hard when you feel inspired, but true progress comes from working hard when you don't feel like it. That's where discipline separates winners from dreamers. Luck may open doors, but if you don't have consistency, those doors close as quickly as they open. An opportunity is only valuable if you're prepared to take advantage of it. And preparation comes from daily effort, from hours of practice, from doing the work long before the chance arrives. People often point to luck when they see someone succeed, but what they don't notice is the years of discipline and consistency that positioned that person to capitalize on that lucky break. What looks like luck from the outside is usually the result of consistent effort behind the scenes. The truth is, you don't need to wait for luck when you've built the habit of consistency. Because consistency creates its own opportunities, discipline also builds trust with yourself. Every time you follow through on what you said you would do, you strengthen your identity as someone who is reliable, someone who doesn't quit, someone who honors their commitments. That trust is invaluable because it fuels your confidence. You no longer wonder if you'll follow through. You know you will, and that self-trust becomes a weapon against fear and doubt. When challenges appear, you can face them knowing you've built the consistency to handle them. When setbacks happen, you can recover because discipline has already taught you to keep moving forward. Consistency and discipline create momentum. At first, progress feels invisible, like nothing is happening. You show up, put in the work, and the results don't show. But over time, each small effort compounds, and suddenly the results begin to stack. What once seemed impossible starts to feel natural because you've built the habits to sustain it. Consistency transforms extraordinary goals into ordinary steps. It's the daily actions that seem small in the moment but become monumental when multiplied over weeks, months, and years. Just as water carves rock not by force but by persistence, your consistent effort carves out success in your life. There's also freedom in discipline. While it may feel restrictive at first, true discipline gives you control over your life. It helps you say no to distractions, no to shortcuts, no to the easy path that leads nowhere. Discipline helps you focus on what truly matters instead of scattering your energy in 100 different directions. It gives structure to your dreams, turning them from vague desires into concrete results. Without discipline, even the most talented person will waste time and drift. With discipline, even someone with modest abilities can achieve extraordinary things because they know how to direct their energy with precision and purpose. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. It doesn't mean you'll never slip, never fail, never struggle. It means that even when you fall, you get back up and keep going. It means you measure yourself not by one bad day, but by the pattern you've built over time. Too many people quit because they expect instant results, but consistency is about the long game. It's about choosing progress over perfection, about showing up more often than you don't, about building a rhythm that keeps you moving forward even when life gets messy. The compound effect of those choices will always outlast short bursts of effort, followed by long breaks of inactivity. Consistency and discipline together create unshakable momentum. Talent fades without them, and luck is irrelevant if you don't have them. They are the great equalizers because anyone can choose to be consistent, and anyone can choose discipline. They don't require special gifts or rare opportunities, only the willingness to commit,
and the courage to keep going.
When you live with discipline and consistency, you unlock a power greater than talent or luck. You unlock the unstoppable force of persistence, the ability to keep stacking effort until the breakthrough finally comes. The process of working hard shapes your identity and builds self-belief because
Every act of effort reinforces the story you tell yourself about who you are. Success is not only about what you achieve externally, but about who you become internally through the struggle, the effort, and the persistence required to get there. Each time you choose to put in the work when it's uncomfortable, when it's exhausting, when it would be easier to quit, you send a message to yourself that you are someone who follows through. That message begins to redefine how you see yourself, and over time, it creates an unshakable identity rooted in resilience, strength, and determination. Hard work doesn't just produce results. It transforms your character. Identity is shaped by repeated action.
if you constantly give up, your mind begins to believe you're a quitter. If you consistently show up, even when progress is slow, your mind begins to believe you're unstoppable. Every choice you make is a vote for the type of person you want to become. When you push through fatigue and keep going, you're not just completing a task, you're casting a vote for the identity of someone who doesn't back down. Eventually, these small acts of effort accumulate into a deep-rooted belief in yourself, a belief that cannot be shaken by external circumstances because it has been earned through experience. Hard work rewires your subconscious to see yourself as capable, worthy, and powerful. The truth is, most people don't lack potential, they lack belief. They doubt themselves because they've trained themselves to break promises to their own word. They've built a history of starting and quitting, of saying they'll change and then falling back into old patterns. Hard work is the antidote because it creates evidence. Belief is not built on empty affirmations. Belief is built on evidence of action. When you see yourself showing up consistently, when you see yourself putting in the hours, when you feel yourself growing stronger day by day, belief becomes natural. It's not forced, it's not faked. It's grounded in the reality of your own effort. That's why hard work is so powerful. It builds an identity of self. Belief that no one can take away from you working hard also teaches you to trust yourself in moments of doubt. Life will always test you. There will be challenges, failures, and setbacks that make you question if you're good enough. But when you've put in the work, you carry proof within you. You know you've endured tough days before. You know you've pushed through obstacles before. That memory of persistence becomes your confidence in the present. You stop needing external validation because your belief comes from within, from the undeniable truth that you've already fought battles and survived. This self-trust becomes the bedrock of your identity, making you steady when others crumble under pressure. The process of working hard also strips away illusions and reveals your true capacity. Many people underestimate what they're capable of simply because they've never pushed themselves far enough to discover it. Hard work forces you past your comfort zone, past the point where you thought you had nothing left, and shows you that you had more in reserve. Every time you break through a barrier you once thought was impossible, your self-image expands. You begin to realize you are far stronger, smarter, and more capable than you once believed. This realization permanently shifts your identity because it proves to you that limitations are rarely fixed. They are tested and redefined by effort. Another reason hard work shapes identity is because it instills values that become part of who you are. Through the grind, you learn patience because progress is never instant. You learn humility because effort reminds you that nothing worthwhile comes easily. You learn perseverance because the path is always filled with obstacles. These values are not abstract. They are lived and earned. They become embedded in your character, influencing how you approach every area of life. Once you've developed the identity of someone who works hard, you carry that into relationships, into business, into personal growth, into every challenge life throws your way. Hard work also builds pride.
not the kind that's shallow or arrogant, but the pride of knowing you've earned what you have. There is a unique confidence that comes from looking at your progress and knowing it didn't come from luck or handouts, but from your own effort. That pride strengthens your belief in yourself because it shows you that no matter where you started, you have the ability to create change through action. It eliminates the victim mindset and replaces it with ownership. You stop waiting for circumstances to improve and realize you have the power to shape your own destiny through your choices and your effort when you commit to the process of working hard. You stop seeing yourself as fragile or incapable. You begin to identify as someone who is relentless, someone who can endure struggle, someone who thrives under pressure. That identity is powerful because it becomes self-fulfilling. Once you believe you are strong, you act strong. Once you believe you are disciplined, you act disciplined. Once you believe you are capable, you begin to take bigger risks and pursue greater goals. This is how working hard shapes your identity. It turns effort into belief, belief into identity, and identity into unstoppable action. Success is created in discomfort because growth never happens inside the boundaries of what feels safe and easy. The comfort zone is where dreams go to die because nothing new is ever built there. When you're comfortable, you repeat the same patterns, make the same choices, and live at the same level you've always known. Discomfort, on the other hand, forces you to stretch, to adapt, to evolve into someone stronger than you were before. Every breakthrough, every achievement, every transformation is born from the moments when you were willing to step into the unknown, endure the pain, and keep going even when everything in you wanted to stop. Success doesn't come from avoiding discomfort. It comes from learning to embrace it. Discomfort is the sign that you are growing. Just like muscles in the body, growth requires resistance. When you lift weights, your muscles are put under stress, they break down, and then they rebuild stronger. The same principle applies to life. When you face challenges, when you step into situations that scare you, when you attempt something that stretches your limits, you are creating the conditions for growth. It doesn't feel good in the moment. It feels heavy, awkward, and exhausting. But over time, those uncomfortable moments reshape you into someone with more resilience, more courage, and more capacity to handle bigger challenges. Comfort feels good now, but it robs you of strength later. Discomfort feels painful now, but it gifts you growth that lasts a lifetime. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid discomfort. They avoid tough conversations, they avoid big goals, they avoid risks, and in doing so they avoid success. The people who rise above the rest are not the ones who had the easiest path, but the ones who embraced the difficult path. They leaned into the hard work, the rejection, the setbacks, and instead of running from discomfort, they ran toward it. That willingness to endure what others avoid is what sets them apart. Because success is never about who has the most comfort. It's about who can endure the most discomfort and keep going. Discomfort also strips away illusions and reveals the truth. When you're comfortable, you can hide your weaknesses because they're never tested. When you step into discomfort, your weaknesses are exposed, and while that can feel painful, it gives you the chance to strengthen them. Discomfort doesn't lie, it shows you exactly where you need to grow. It humbles you, but it also empowers you, because once you face the truth of where you are, you can take action to improve. This is why the most successful people constantly push themselves into environments that challenge them. They're not afraid to look weak, because they know that every weakness faced is an opportunity for strength gained. Another powerful aspect of discomfort is that it builds mental toughness. When you willingly put yourself in situations that are hard, your tolerance for stress expands. What once felt unbearable becomes manageable. What once scared you becomes routine. Over time, you begin to crave challenges because you've trained your mind to associate discomfort with growth. This shift in perspective is powerful. Instead of fearing the struggle, you start to respect it. You begin to see obstacles as opportunities,
pain as progress, and setbacks as setups for something greater. The very things that used to hold you back become the fuel that drives you forward. Discomfort also creates clarity of purpose. When you're challenged, you are forced to ask yourself why you're doing it, why you're fighting, why it matters. That pressure removes the shallow motivations and leaves only the reasons that truly matter to you. In comfort, it's easy to talk about goals, to dream about success, but in discomfort, you discover whether you really want it. That discovery strengthens your resolve because it ties your effort to something deeper than convenience. Success demands that you pay a price, and discomfort is the currency. When you're willing to pay that price, your purpose becomes unshakable every time you endure discomfort. You're also expanding your sense of identity. You stop seeing yourself as fragile and start seeing yourself as powerful. You start to believe that if you can handle this, you can handle more. That belief pushes you to attempt things you once thought were out of reach. Discomfort becomes a training ground for greatness. It transforms you from someone who avoids life's challenges into someone who seeks them out. Knowing that every uncomfortable moment is shaping you into the person capable of holding the success you desire. Success is not found in the easy path, because the easy path leads to stagnation. It's found in the path that scares you, the path that tests you, the path that forces you to stretch into the unknown. Discomfort is not the enemy, it is the teacher. It is the environment in which you shed the old version of yourself and step into the new. It is the fire that burns away fear and leaves behind courage. Those who learn to embrace discomfort, to welcome it, to live in it, are the ones who rise above mediocrity and create extraordinary lives. Hard work is the bridge between who you are today and who you want to become, because it is the vehicle that carries you from your current reality to your desired future. Dreams and goals can inspire you, but they remain intangible until they are backed by effort. The vision you have of your best self is not reached through wishful thinking. It is reached through the repeated actions that slowly transform you. Every step you take, every sacrifice you make, every hour of disciplined work is a plank laid down on that bridge. Without the bridge of hard work, the gap between your present self and your future self remains untraveled. It is not talent, luck, or even opportunity that builds that bridge. It is the willingness to work relentlessly toward what you want. The version of yourself you dream of being already exists, but it is waiting on the other side of effort. The only thing standing in the way is the distance you must cross. That distance is built through daily choices, the small actions that seem insignificant in the moment but compound over time to change everything. Hard work is the process of becoming, of shedding the limitations of who you are today in order to step into the person capable of living that future. Each time you choose discipline over comfort, you are laying another piece of that bridge. Each time you show up when it would be easier to quit, you strengthen its foundation. Slowly but surely, the person you want to become comes closer into reach. This bridge is not built overnight. It requires patience because transformation takes time. You cannot sprint across it. You must build it as you go, one step at a time. Many people want the results now, but they are unwilling to put in the hours required to construct the path. That's why so many remain stuck where they are. They dream of the other side, they talk about it, but they never commit to the work that would carry them there. Those who are willing to do the work are the ones who cross. They understand that every day matters. Every effort, no matter how small, is progress across the bridge. Hard work also serves as the test that determines whether you are truly ready for what you're asking for. The challenges you face, the obstacles you encounter, the fatigue you endure, all serve to shape you into the kind of person capable of holding the success you want. Without that process, you might reach the other side too soon, only to find you are not strong enough to handle it. The bridge itself prepares you. It builds resilience, discipline, humility, and confidence. By the time you reach the other side,
You are not only standing in your vision, but also equipped with the strength to keep it, sustain it, and grow it even further. There is also power in knowing that the bridge is entirely in your control. You may not control circumstances, you may not control timing, but you control your work ethic. You decide how much effort you give, how consistent you are, how much you're willing to sacrifice. That control is freedom because it means your future is not left to chance. It is not about waiting for the perfect opportunity or the right moment. It is about building the bridge with your own hands and crossing it through sheer determination. The responsibility is heavy, but it is also empowering because you realize no one else is stopping you from becoming who you want to be except your willingness to work along this bridge. There will be moments of doubt, times when progress feels slow, times when it seems like the other side is
far away. These moments are part of the process. They are not signals to stop, but opportunities to prove your commitment. The struggle, the repetition, the grind, these are not punishments. They are the materials that strengthen the bridge. Without them, the bridge would collapse under the weight of your dreams. With them, it becomes unshakable. Each challenge faced is another reinforcement, another sign that you are getting closer. The very hardships that make you want to quit are the same hardships that ensure your success will last. Hard work, as the bridge also means that success is not a single event, but a continuous journey. Even when you cross to one level of your future self, there is always another vision waiting, another bridge to build. This is why the process never ends. You are always becoming, always growing, always evolving. Hard work is not a temporary phase. It is the lifelong path of turning possibility into reality. And every time you commit to it, you not only reach the next version of yourself, but also prove to yourself that you can cross any distance, no matter how far it seems.